Because Joe does that you don't have the capacity to do is not make it all about himself.
Hold on. No, hold on. There's a clip. No, hold on.
That's
you. I'm not interrupting. I'm having a conversation.
Yeah, okay.
That's how conversations work.
Agreed. Yeah.
You know, he says everything cool.
Yeah.
Wait, try to guess what I'm
Shut
thinking.
the fuck up, Bert. Jesus Christ. Let him talk. Bruce Willis has a neurological condition.
Yes.
I
He's
forget.
not doing well.
I forget what it's called.
Yes.
It's called aphasia. I think I might have it.
Yeah, you're right.
I talk about it
you just bring it back to yourself?
Of course.
Wait, and you wanted to kill her?
Did I tell you what?
You wanted to kill this lady?
Hold on, I got a better one.
What happened with that one?
Hold on, I got this better one.
We got to come back to that.
Tommy, did I tell you about the lady that wouldn't serve me at the airport? Joe, I'm sorry. I ruined Sober October.
You didn't really ruin it. We just stopped. Everybody got busy, and then we didn't do it.
This episode hit a lot of notes.
It did hit a lot of notes.
So back in 2019, Joe Rogan kicked off a yearly tradition with Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, and Ari Shaffir called Sober October. And back then, the idea was very simple. It was to try and help out Bert Kreischer, who was known for his heavy drinking and wild partying, to slow down and be healthy for at least that 1 month.
Let's talk about what your current drinking status is. So, like, because to get in the approach, can you recap like what an average week is like?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, this isn't an intervention. We're all friends, right?
No, right.
No, we're talking for setting up.
But it quickly became more than just a fun challenge. It was a massive hit and a successful podcast episode that a lot of the fans liked. In fact, it was so successful and so big that it pushed Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura to start their own podcast, Two Bears, One Cave. And back then, that podcast was up there on the list among the top comedy podcasts at the moment, which is pretty wild. And so naturally, it became a great way to promote and sell a ton of tickets for the live shows.
The real game changer is we do Sober October the first year.
Yeah. Gay.
And gay. And so I tell, and it did really well. And I noticed that it moved tickets for the rest of the tour. All of a sudden, everything cleaned up and everything out of the show. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
But fast forward to today, and that once beloved tradition is absolutely gone. I mean, now Joe Rogan has a new crew for those big comedy podcasts, now called Protect Our Parks. But also the whole dynamic between Tom, Bert, and Joe Rogan doesn't seem to be as close as it used to be back then. So then what happened? Why did Sober October end, or why haven't they done another episode? And how much of it was it because of Bert Kreischer's personality? And well, funny enough, Bert actually brought it up on the most recent episode of Two Bears, One Cave with Ari Shaffir. And at some points, things got a little bit intense and awkward as Bert Kreischer realized that once again, he might be the problem.
Ari, as a member of both Sober October and Protect Your Parks.
Oh yeah, you're the only one.
Protect our parks,
You're the only one.
Please have some respect.
You're the only
Put
one.
respect in their name.
What's that?
Put respect on their name.
We've never watched an episode. We refuse to.
Okay.
We just think it's kind of ridiculous that we got replaced.
Yeah.
Just replaced.
Straight
like
up
two new
replaced.
white guys. At least make it diverse. Bring in an Asian or a black guy.
No.
Wait, you didn't pick it.
I did pick it. I'm the one who.
No, he brought
pitched
them
it.
there.
I said, hey, we're going to Skankfest. We're going a day early. Who wants
you
us?
You replaced us?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you were showing me some disrespect off the free drugs I gave you. No, thank you. And then so forth.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Did we
and
get,
then
hang
I
on.
said,
Did
okay,
we get,
I'll move on.
We got replaced because you drugged me and I didn't enjoy it?
You did enjoy it.
But no,
you
hold
didn't
on.
act like you
hold
enjoyed
on.
it.
Hold on. I thought Joe replaced us.
And look, what's really interesting and also mind-blowing, but not new, is Bert Kreischer's ability to make everything about himself, which is the main point of this video, because when it comes to Ari Shaffir, I mean, he went on the show on Two Bears, One Cave, not only to say hi to Tom and Bert, but mainly to promote his new comedy special that he finally got on Netflix. And somehow, Bert Kreischer was able to make it all about himself by creating this insane narrative in his head that isn't even true, because technically, Joe Rogan has never said that Sober October was officially done and it would never happen. But also, I'm pretty sure that if Bert really wanted to, he could make it happen. I mean, Joe Rogan is still doing the Fight Companions with Brennan Schaub here and there, so it's not like he just completely replaced them. But then what made me think that maybe Joe Rogan is actually avoiding doing any podcasts with Bert Kreischer was the way that Ari Shaffir responded to Bert's question, because on the one hand, Ari's making it seem like if nothing really happened, he's being silly and making dumb excuses. But then on the other, he's also making some very solid points that would make me believe that maybe Joe Rogan behind the scenes has been talking to them about why Sober October hasn't happened or won't happen anymore. And by the way, don't forget to like the video. It helps out so much and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I said to Joe and Tom, hey,
And Tom.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Austin. I sent them both texts with Norman and Shane, and I said we got to go to Houston. We can stop for a day before. You want like a 4? And Joe's like, yeah,
Just so you know,
yeah,
I don't care.
right.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm the only one that cares.
Tom's like, I'm running an empire. I don't.
Guys, I have a career also, but like, but also I do go. It would be fun to get that Joe.
To get that laid back.
The fun to protect your parks, Joe, is not Sober October, Joe.
Parks. No, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. We just get tuned up, and all you do is none of us challenge them to workouts.
You know, I'm going to blow out my pecs trying to do 15 today.
Do it. Blow them out.
Do it.
If you do, I'll do 20.
Do it. If you guys aren't.
You guys will
I
do
love
this.
this about you.
We'll take it to the death.
I love this about you.
You don't love it.
I love that you own a little territory in my head.
You don't love it.
I do.
You don't.
I do.
You think you love it.
absolutely
You think you love it
do.
until we're actually engaged in competition. And then it's an
Joe.
anxiety. When you get up to piss in the middle of the night, I know you think about it.
None of us on protected parks go, let's do a push-up.
Wait, hold on.
contest.
I think I'm getting I'm understanding. Am I the problem?
You're the factor. I wouldn't say problem.
You're a fact. You're a key factor for sure.
Because also,
yeah.
part of it is that when you come in, he's going like, how's this guy alive? You know,
You're the self-help guy.
yeah, he's
Self-help guy.
No, you're not self-help. He's like, let's help this guy, not self-help. No, what's the opposite
This
of
is
self-help?
backfiring totally.
Yeah.
And also keep in mind that being replaced or losing Sober October, it's not just about the friendship with Joe Rogan, but also the massive financial hits, because once again, those episodes with Joe and 3 other comedians are massively successful and they definitely help selling tickets on the road. You could argue that because those comedians on those episodes are seen as Joe Rogan's closest friends or best friends, they do get an extra level of endorsements from Joe Rogan. Now, to be fair, when it comes to Ari Shaffir, he's always been honest with Bert Kreischer and has called him out a lot in the past, even though Bert has always been a lot more successful than Ari. And so when he makes that comment that Bert Kreischer could definitely work on not making everything about himself, it does make me believe that maybe Joe Rogan had told Ari Shaffir how annoying it was dealing with Bert Kreischer because of that trait.
All right. What's better? Sushi in Japan, or like that high-end sushi, or pasta in Europe? Like when you're in Italy.
Yeah, low-level food's good too.
No,
It's
but
like-
I mean, like what? Like if you had
Why
to
does
pick,
everything have to be a competition with you, Bert?
I'm just trying to start a conversation. I
Starting
want you to
lists.
pick teams.
Yeah, some of that shit's great too. A local, small,
buddy.
like
Handmade
good sandwich
pasta,
in
handmade
France.
tortillas.
And so at this point, and after all this time, it's hard to feel bad for Bert Kreischer, because I'm pretty sure we all know somebody like him, someone that is always making it about them. They always try to one-up everyone around them, and they lie for no reason. And it becomes so draining and annoying that it does become easier to just cut them off and stop talking to them.
So do you think we'll ever do Sober October again?
We should. I got a new special out. That would be a good excuse to come do one.
Yeah, but can I be Joe?
You can be Joe. Let's make him not sit in that seat.
Okay.
Oh, you want to sit in the seat?
I want to be Joe.
It's just,
How do you get to be Joe though?
yeah. How are you going to?
Because Joe, what
Okay,
Joe
here's
does
my-
that
here-
you don't have the capacity to do is not
listen.
make it all about himself.
Hold on. Hold on. There's a clip. No, hold on.
That's a-
you. You.
There's got to be a clip out there of you not
No,
interrupting.
no.
Fine. Look that up.
I'm not interrupting. I'm having a conversation.
Yeah, okay.
That's how conversations work.
Agreed. Yeah.
And sometimes I'll say, if you said and then I go, God, that's crazy. I would never be able to do that. And then because Joe's done that, he goes, don't make it about you. I go, but that's how life works. I think of things and I go, that's amazing. I could never run 25 miles.
Yeah.
Like I could never run 50 miles.
And look, to be fair, this isn't new. That was the whole point of Two Bears, One Cave. It was basically Bert Kreischer talking about himself and his crazy and insane lifestyle, and Tom Segura would just laugh at it. But when it comes to Sober October, even though technically initially it was started to try and help out Bert Kreischer. Once it blew up and became a massive show, it wasn't just about Bert Kreischer, and it was a comedy show, but Bert Kreischer didn't understand that and continued to try and make it all about himself every single time.
But I'll be Joe. I won't make anything about myself.
Okay.
We'll put Joe in my seat.
I don't think we sit in the same seats there, do we? I'm not sure.
We always sit in the same seats when
do.
we do it.
Well, I'm going to a different seat next time. I'm gonna put on a costume. I'm gonna go in a different seat, and I'm gonna put in earplugs so I don't interrupt anybody. Other than I can't hear anybody.
That won't do it.
You just go, it starts now.
Maybe a muzzle. You guys got to have a fucking ball gag here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be really fun for me.
How would you get French
So
fries
how would
in
you
around
how would
that?
you run the show? How would it be different? What would you do?
Yeah.
You would just be like, "Welcome to the Bert experience."
Yeah, welcome to the Bert experience. The Bert experience. I'm here with my 3 favorite people.
That's pretty good.
And I start and I go, obviously, Joe Rogan. He's like a big brother to me. I can't wait to get some great life advice from him. I got Tom Segura here, one of my best friends in the world. And obviously, a guy I can't live without, Ari Shafir. Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
would anyone like a joint?
Wow, that's a
you
good
got
start.
it. You're
Yeah.
crushing it.
You're doing great.
And then I'll go, I'm so sorry, I wasn't listening. Will you say that one more time? I'll do that a lot.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
like, what's the first like conversation?
I'm sorry I wasn't listening. Say that one more time. It's not. You should just be
Okay,
listening.
I'll just be like, I was listening. And I think that's a great point.
And look, what's really wild is that at this point, I don't think it's even possible for Bert Kreischer to actually change and not talk about himself or have a conversation in which he's not the center of attention. But also when it comes to Joe Rogan and Tom Segura, who has been following in his footsteps, because for the past 4 or 5 years, they have changed so much, both in terms of their comedy, their podcast, and being more business focused, from Tom Segura launching a vodka with Bert Kreischer to Joe Rogan now flooding his podcast episodes with a bunch of ad reads, which at some point he was super against. And so because of all that, even if they did do another Sober October or an episode with all 4 of them together, I don't think it would be the same thing as before. And it is mainly because even though Bert Kreischer likes to pretend like he sees Joe Rogan as a big brother, he never follows his advice. And now looking back, I wouldn't be surprised if deep down, Bert Kreischer was so delusional and his ego was so out of control that he actually saw Joe Rogan as his competition.
Bruce Willis has a neurological condition.
Yes.
I
He's
forget.
not doing well.
I forget what it's called.
Yes.
It's called aphasia. I think I might have
Yeah,
it.
you're right. You're right.
You,
It's
you
a
talk about it
just bring
nonstop.
it back to yourself.
Of course.
We're just here talking about.
I can't look at a post and not think about me.
like he said, he says everything cool.
Yeah.
Wait, try to
goes-
guess. Try to guess what I'm
Shut
thinking.
the fuck up, Bert. Jesus Christ, Bert.
No, I know where this is going.
Let him talk.
He goes, "Let me get a flick with you."
Writing.
You just embrace this aspect of yourself. It seems you don't like it. It makes you angry when it comes out. You get upset at yourself, but yet you also embrace it.
Yeah.
It's so gross, though. It's so gross.
Fascinating. It's like you're playing tic-tac-toe against yourself.
I think you guys approach things very differently.
We do, and I think I drive you fucking nuts.
No,
Okay,
you
here's-
don't.
I
Sometimes.
have to.
think-
I have to. I know I
I
drive
love
me
you.
nuts.
You drove me nuts during Sober October.
You bring out his competitive spirit.
You bring
but
that out.
there's a monster in there. And you let him out of the cage.
But I love your monster.
yeah.
Like the way a younger brother would like needling his big brother. I like your monster.
Here's the one of the big things I think is super different is that he approaches things of like, all right, if I want to be proficient at this thing, I'm going to do it every day because that's how you get good, the consistency and the discipline.
Yeah.
And you go, you know what? I think I can wing this shit and be pretty good at it. And that's one of the big like philosophical differences of how you approach life.
Yeah.
And even though we can't confirm or know the real reason why they haven't done a Sober October episode, I did rewatch the last Sober October, and it was actually very interesting and shocking seeing how much Joe Rogan was getting mad and annoyed at Bert Kreischer, which is a very tough thing to do, but it happened multiple times. And so based on that episode and also based on Ari's comments, it does make me think that Joe Rogan no longer has that patience for Bert Kreischer. Again, back then, it was silly and funny knowing that Bert Kreischer was drinking boxes of wine, gallons of Kool-Aid, and living a wild touring lifestyle. But after years and years of the same thing, it gets boring, and even his own best friend, Tom Segura, is clearly over the whole thing and also no longer has the same patience for Bert Kreischer. For example, on recent episodes, including that one, Tom just lets Bert Kreischer ramble and go off without really having any input or jokes, and instead he just reacts and makes faces as if he's also shocked and disagrees with how out of control Bert Kreischer is. And now, this is when things get very intense, but very interesting, because keep in mind that this happens towards the end of the episode at the very end, but it did happen after they had the whole conversation about how Bert Kreischer should really try to not make everything about himself. And then, no lie, for the last 5 to 10 minutes of the episode, he makes it all about himself in the worst way possible, because the whole time, the entire time, Tom Segura was uncomfortable and clearly trying to end the episode and get out of there, but Bert Kreischer was absolutely out of control.
Wait, and you wanted to kill her?
Did I tell you what? Did I
Wait,
tell you
you
about?
wanted to kill this lady?
Hold on, I got a better one. I got a better one. I got a
What
better
happened
one.
with that one?
Hold on, I got this better one.
We got to come back to that.
Tommy,
one. What?
did I tell you about? Did I tell you about the lady that wouldn't serve me at the airport?
No. Okay.
I get off the plane in Nashville. I get a celebratory beer because I made it. I'm alive.
Wait, you do a beer when you
Yeah,
land?
what? Let's not nitpick this story. Yes.
Wait,
Okay.
When I land, I get a beer off the plane.
at the terminal.
Yes. So I get off the plane. I go to get a celebratory beer, and Pete's with me. And I said, "Yeah, can we get? Do you have Stella?" She goes, "No." And I went, "Okay." Well, Pete's with me, and Pete's go, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Can you grab me a beer?" I said,
No
"Yeah,
offer
sure."
of what else they have.
I said, she goes, "No," and I said,
I already hate her.
And so I said, "Well, do you have any Stella-esque?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Great, I'll get 2 of those." She goes, "I can only serve you 1." And I said, "Well, no, my buddy just went to the bathroom." Never mind, I'll just take 1. And then she goes, "Okay." And then I go, "He's going to be back in a second, so you might want to just start pouring 2. He's the guy you just saw." And she goes, "I can only serve you 1." And I went, "Okay." And so she goes, "I need to see your ID." And I was like, I'm looking around now. What happens here, little outside part of the story, everyone at the bar recognizes me. Every single person at that bar is a dude who drinks, who's probably heard me say, never quit drinking. And they're all recognizing me, and they're coming over and getting pictures. Now, part of me likes this interaction because she knows whatever's happening is going to be okay.
Maybe
I'm a
lighten
normal
up.
person.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't the first time that Bert Kreischer tells one of those insane stories, which they're all basically about him not getting recognized or treated like a superstar or a famous person, especially by someone who is doing their job and in his head is supposed to treat him a lot nicer because he is rich and famous. And what's really crazy is that at this point, we do have a ton of stories about Bert Kreischer having a meltdown or having some sort of confrontation while he's trying to drink and while he's trying to be the center of attention. And keep in mind that those stories were told by Bert Kreischer on the podcast. So now imagine all the things that have happened behind the scenes that Bert Kreischer will never tell on air.
Give her my ID. She hands back my ID, and then she gives me a little sip of beer. Pete arrives at this moment. A little sip of beer, and I go, "What's this?" And she goes, "This is what we have that's like Stella." I said, "Oh, no, it's fine. I'll just take 2 of those." And she goes, "You know what? I'm not comfortable serving you." And
What?
And I went, "Excuse me?" And now everyone stops. She goes, "I'm not comfortable serving you. You make me uncomfortable." So what I did, and I was not proud of this, is I said, "I apologize if I made you uncomfortable anyway. I have 2 daughters that are roughly your age. I would never want a man to make them feel uncomfortable. I'll go on my way." And I tipped her $20. And she went, "Excuse me?" I said, "Here's $20 for your trouble. I apologize." And I walked away. I was up at night screaming at the fucking pillow going, you fucking, and because that's what I wanted to do.
Sure, but you took the higher road.
I took the high road, but the high road sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks.
Now here's her night. She's talking to some guy. How is she attractive or not so much?
Yeah.
Okay, she's talking to some guy or a friend. She goes, "How was work today?" It was like, "It was fine," but this guy came in. I've never played it as well. I just said, "F off, I'm not giving you beer," and he just gave me $20.
And once again, that right there shows you why Sober October hasn't happened again, because in a room with Bert Kreischer, Ari Shaffir, and Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer absolutely took over the whole conversation. He hijacked the conversation in Ari's episode to make it all about himself because he could. And so at this point, simply adding Joe Rogan to that group wouldn't make it any better, in my opinion. And it might be sad, but once again, the dynamic is no longer there and people do change. And so the chances of Sober October coming back and being a big thing are very low in my opinion. And it was pretty tough to watch because on the one hand, Bert Kreischer was being genuine, he was being honest, but on the other, you could tell that Tom and Ari were just trying to move on and get out of there since Bert Kreischer was going on and on about his insane story.
You know what she said?
What?
You know, this was even better. This is even better. Do you know, everyone at the bar watched this happen. Everyone at the bar was like, what the f-? I walked away. This is what upset me the most, is that and someone goes, do you know who you just did that to? And they go, who? And she goes, that's Bert Kreischer. Then she Googles me, and then she's got her own narrative, because he was
a total asshole
I was
to
a
me.
total asshole.
Yeah.
All the good stuff I did, none of that counts, because she gets to tell her story. I was so angry.
Do you think though that when the part where she goes, "You make me uncomfortable," it's probably when you were like, "He's just went to the bathroom. He's going to be right here."
I didn't even say it like that, Tommy. I swear to God, my energy was like, what? Like more confused. Like, hey,
So was it that you got loud? You did something.
I didn't get loud at
so
all.
She just.
What was happening was dudes were recognizing me, and they were and she was like, I think the energy changed in the bar when I showed up, and she couldn't place it, didn't know who I was, but I had 2 instances where that happened. I've had this where I took the high road, and I said, and I just didn't say what I wanted to fucking say.
Yeah, it'd be so nice to Patrice it and just be like, "Fuck you.
Yeah.
Get me your manager. You suck.
Yeah.
I didn't do shit
Was
to you."
anyone else working that bar?
No.
No.
And I know what gate it is, and I know that bar in Nashville, and I can't wait to go back.
Now, what's really shocking and interesting about this whole interaction is the massive difference of how Tom Segura used to defend Bert Kreischer back then to now. Because back then, he would actually side with him. For example, when Ari Shaffir was on Two Bears One Cave and he called him out for having a meltdown and fighting with Joe List over Thai food, Tom Segura was trying to understand and side with Bert Kreischer, but now he's even questioning if maybe it was Bert's fault that he was getting treated that way.
The thing is, they know all these people are temporary customers. You're not gonna be back.
He's actually going back soon.
Yeah.
He really is.
New Year's Eve, I'll be there. I'm going to stop, and I'm taking the same fucking flight from LA, and that same bar is going to be right there when I get
God,
off.
I hope she
and
doesn't
I'm
serve
going
you
right
again.
back.
I hope
I'm
she
going
says,
right
no,
back.
I'm still not comfortable.
And you know what? I'm going to tip her $100. I'm going to tip her $100, and I'm going to start crying, and I'm going to make her uncomfortable, and I'm going to say, you're the one that hit my mom.
You're like, get you,
Leanne,
the whole village.
We went to
You should do it.
I can't get into this. Went to a. I think I texted you. I went to a liberal party one time, like a real liberal. Everyone's wearing masks outside and everything.
Oh, nice.
And I got in trouble for putting my hand in the ice.
Who yelled at you?
Dude with the mask.
Was like, "Don't touch
He's
it."
like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm getting ice. And he was like, with your hand? They make tongs for that. And I was like,
Nothing to do with the mask, just a separate. Don't do that.
like he just. And I was like, I'm not gonna go into someone's house look for tongs to get ice that we just slammed on the fucking ground to break it up. You're out of your mind.
Yeah.
And
Now, obviously, at this point, it is impossible to know if Sober October is actually done or if it will continue. But from the looks of it, it does seem like Joe Rogan has officially moved on with the new crew. But yeah, maybe it is the case that they simply got way too famous and busy to record a podcast episode. Or maybe there is a chance that Joe Rogan no longer wants to record with Bert Kreischer, at least not for now. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. Dislike if you didn't like the video. But that is all we have for today. See ya.